Let's talk about how the Dark Knight survives a fall from space, but falls at the hands of his own creation. We see Batman moments later after making his Hail Mary play against Failsafe. Thinking that he had outsmarted the mechanical monster that was made to be his undoing, Batman teleported the Justice League Watchtower and Failsafe back down to Earth, but left himself stranded in the cold depths of space. 240,000 miles from Earth, Batman has a mere 14 minutes to live. He begins by using the compressed gas inside of his grappling gun in order to propel himself through the void. He does this to get near one of the Justice League's destroyed ships, and while it is inoperable, its oxygen tank very much is. While he's bought himself another 12 hours worth of breathing, he knows he can't head back to the moon because that would be the first place Failsafe looks. And using a piece of debris from this destroyed ship, Batman then sets sail for Earth. There's no drag, no gravity in space, so any speed that Bruce picks up, he will keep and maintain. The world's greatest detective does careful calculations to figure out that he needs to use his grappling gun in 9G bursts, and about 60 of those will build him up to 40,000 miles an hour. His plan is working. Now, 8 hours later, as he's approaching Earth's atmosphere, he knows he has to slow himself down. So he rotates his DIY spaceship and uses the grappling gun in the opposite direction so that he could slow himself down for re-entry. But the problem is, this process is painful. Going 9Gs is almost unbearable. And 45 minutes later, we see that the Dark Knight had blacked out in this process and is now burning through the atmosphere. Getting too hot, he ditches his oxygen tank just in the nick of time before it explodes, propelling him even faster. While his suit was built to handle the heat, the oxygen mask he was using sure couldn't. In the midst of one of the most stressful situations Batman has ever found himself in, he kind of laughs when he thinks to himself that he told Clark that fireproof trunks were a good idea, as he pulls them off and wraps them around his face. From here on out, he can hold his breath for the rest of the fall, and he knows that the spines in his wings will hold up. The only problem is he can't slow down too fast. He begins calculating the wind resistance and how he needs to come in so that he can slow down just enough to where it doesn't kill him, but also so that the ground won't either. As the burning bat successfully lands in the snow, he quickly rises to his feet, knowing that there's no time to rest. Failsafe is coming. Superman awakes in a panic, and while Robin tries to stop him and tell him his solar radiation treatment isn't done yet, Clark pays him no mind because he knows he just heard his best friend arrive. Superman tells him that he's good. He's not 100%, but he can do everything Batman needs to buy him some time. That he can end this once and for all, as the Fortress of Solitude's cameras pick up Failsafe marching through the snow towards his creator. He rushes out of the Fortress of Solitude to protect Gotham's finest. Superman tells Failsafe he wasn't ready for him last time, but he damn sure is now. The Man of Steel launches the robot into the side of the mountain, and just as fast as he lands, Superman is right there on top of him. Failsafe tells Kal-El that he knows things about him that even he wouldn't know. For example, Kryptonians have pressure points, much like humans. And by piercing one, he causes Superman's heat vision to go off involuntarily, reflect off of the shield that he is wearing, and disorient him. While Big Blue is writhing on the ground helpless, Failsafe rises to his feet, gathers himself, and tells him that he's a good friend. While all of this was going on, Bruce tells Tim of his last-ditch effort of the hole that he was able to put in Failsafe's outer armor back on Justice League Watchtower. Failsafe is just built too well. A normal virus would be shut down by his programming and his defenses almost immediately. Bruce plans to introduce some nanotech that will subtly shift his personality. While this will still be hard to deploy, this thing was made to kill Batman, but not fight Batman and Robin. The dynamic duo rush out of the Fortress of Solitude to fight for Bruce's life, and their old moves come right back. Batman thinks to himself Dick would always go off book, Jason hated practicing, but Tim loved the teamwork. When they fight, they truly have each other's backs, but this time it's different. They're not up against some ex-con or Killer Croc. This is Batman, without the restraints, without the weakness, but they've got to try and change that. We see Batman triumphantly leaping over Failsafe's back as he injects the nanotech into the one chink in his armor, reprogramming it to feel compassion. Batman tells his creation that that's what always separated the two of them. Yes, he is the Dark Knight. Yes, he is vengeance, but he still cares, and now, so will Failsafe. Failsafe seems to be spinning out. Confused, he runs back into the Fortress of Solitude. As it points a weapon at the Caped Crusader, Batman fears that his plan didn't work. Tim screams at the android, begging it, trying to appeal to its new programming, but it's no use. Turns out, Batman is like everyone who has ever lived. He survived everything he ever faced, right up until the point that he didn't. As he turns and looks at Tim, he tells him that it's okay. As Failsafe fires his weapon, Tim drops to his knees, screaming at the top of his lungs, telling Failsafe that you were supposed to have compassion. The robot tells Tim Drake that that was compassion. Batman now eliminated, Failsafe flies away, leaving nothing behind but a broken Man of Steel and Boy Wonder. While his programming is complete and Failsafe's journey is now over, we see that Batman's has just begun, as he lays there in an alley in the piss-pouring rain in a Gotham City that isn't his.